mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Get ready for the deal of the decade with Lagoon's best price of the season. July 1st through 31st, single-day passports are just $59.95 plus tax when you buy 2 or more in one transaction. Online only. There's something new waiting for you at Lagoon, so bring your friends and families, make some memories, and save big when you visit in July with the deal of the decade. Don't wait. Buy online now at lagoonpark.com.
Broadcasting live from the KSL Cars Studio. This is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all want to smile.
And I want to welcome you into a brand new edition of the Saturday Show here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. Hope everybody's figuring out ways to stay cool in this summer heat. I'm Alex Napolis. That's Christian Esparza. Sitting behind the glass today, it's Parker Long. Christian, how's it going, man? How's your week?
Dude, it's going great. As you say, staying cool. I'm looking at my weather app right now.
Yes.
It's already 91 degrees outside.
It is, man.
It is 10 a.m. on the dot, and it is already 90 degrees. That is ridiculous.
I got out to start my car, and it was already, like, incredibly warm inside the car.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be this warm this early, but here we are.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
supposed to be over 100 all weekend, so everybody stay cool, man.
106 is the number I saw floating around, so that's crazy. We were talking to Chandler Holt yesterday. He's down in Las Vegas covering the Summer League.
How hot is it down there?
Said I think he said 110.
Oh,
that's light work for Vegas.
it's gross.
Yeah.
I already feel gross in the 106. And, I mean, I can't imagine how warm it is in Las Vegas right now. Plus, it just feels drier.
Right.
And disgustinger.
How was your fourth?
Fourth was good, man. I didn't really do much. Parents were out of town, and so I just spent a bunch of time with the siblings, hanging out, and watching TV. That's pretty much all I did.
Heck yeah. Did you do stay up late, watch fireworks?
No.
Not a fireworks guy?
Not a very big fireworks guy. I feel like once you see one firework, you see them all.
We didn't. Oh, that's a lame take, dude. We didn't do fireworks either.
Are you a fireworks guy?
I enjoy fireworks.
Yeah.
I get like the fire danger and stuff, so I haven't lit any fireworks myself in a few years. This year though, with the newborn, 3 months old, we took him up to our friend's house. They have a swimming pool, so we went there around like noon. And it was just such a long, hot day that we ended up leaving early. We kind of just watched fireworks along the freeway on our way home.
There you go.
And that worked. It was kind of cool, driving through. It's like Roy. It's like, okay, which fireworks are Roy City's fireworks and the house fireworks? Okay, I think those ones are the city. And then you get into Clearfield. It's like, okay, those are Clearfield City for sure. So that's how we spent our fourth. But yeah, it was amazing weekend. 250. I can't believe it, man.
Busy week this week. Obviously a lot going on with the Big 12 Media Days. Obviously a lot going on with the Salt Lake Summer League and the Las Vegas Summer League. We'll dive into some Darren Peterson and Summer League talk here in just a moment, but we'll start with the Big 12 Media Days because it feels like it's the official kickoff of the college football season. College football is right around the corner. A lot of really great stuff coming out from Big 12 Media Days, specifically from the local teams from both BYU and Utah. And I think the big story and the big question for the University of Utah going into this was how Morgan Scalley was going to handle things and how the University of Utah was going to handle things now under a new era. And it's very apparent that they're moving on from Kyle Whittingham. Morgan Scalley seems to be embracing the role now as the head coach, and I thought that he was phenomenal, not only with the guys on the station here with all the guys that we sent down to Frisco, but also from the podium. He had a lot of really great things to say, and I think instilled a lot of confidence into him now taking over as the head coach of this University of Utah team.
Yeah, Morgan Scally always represents himself with a pretty giddy and contagious energy.
Yes.
He's like a little ball of electricity, and he's kind of just like, it's almost like the Energizer rabbit. You know, he's been wound up, and he's just like itching to just get going. He reminds me of Sean McVay. I've said that a few times of the Rams, just because you can tell he's always, you know, if everybody walks around at like a 6 or 7, these guys walk around at 11 all the time out of 10. You know, they are just amped constantly. And one thing I'm interested to see with Morgan Scally compared to Kyle Whittingham is just it always felt like Whit had some tricks up his sleeve. And it always felt like he was trying to hide stuff for better or for worse.
Yes.
Just you never really you had to take everything with a grain of salt.
Right.
And maybe that will change as Morgan Scally becomes more experienced as a head coach and spends some more time with this team and, you know, in the NCAA as the man. But I think Morgan is just excited to get going, and he's just anticipating the start date. And I think he was having a lot of fun at media days.
Oh,
he had a lot of fun at the podium.
Seemed like he was. Absolutely.
He had a lot of fun at the, you know, like you said, sitting down with the guys. So I don't know. We'll see if we get a little more out of Utah is what I guess I'm trying to get at compared to years past, the 21 years prior.
Right. I think for me, you know, heading into media days and some of the storylines that I was watching, especially when it came to Utah, was just how Utah was going to be perceived and how Utah was going to be looked at. And I think that a lot of people, you know, reading some of the preseason stuff and preseason previews online from national media, there was some people questioning, right, what Morgan Scally is going to be able to do in year one. And I think that this was an opportunity for Morgan Scally and the players, right, the 4 players for Utah that went out to get in front of the cameras, to get in front of the microphones, and essentially pump out that Morgan Scally is pushing this program into the right direction, right? The foundation was already laid there, and he's just building upon it. And I think that they did an incredible job of doing that, because even me, I mean, we had a conversation a while back, right, of how Morgan Scally was going to take over this program and how, you know, he was going to do as a first-year head coach. But I think after just hearing the excitement, not only from him, but from the players as well, for me, it changes a little bit now to, you know, maybe that there's a little less concern on my end about a first-time head coach taking over this program now, because it is Morgan Scally, and he's walked in there with a new ball of energy, and he's said all the right things, right? I think he said everything that the University of Utah fans want to hear. Everybody that even the players, again, taking the microphones and sitting down with the guys, they've all seemed energized and ready to roll.
Yeah, and that's where I'm a little hung up on, like, it's one thing to be excited, and then it's another thing to, like, say that we know he's going to be a great coach just because of the energy at media days. And right. I just want to be careful about that, because every coach wins the press conference at media days, whether they are going to finish first in the Big 12 or 16th in the Big 12. And I get that Scally is a local guy and has been a Ute through and through forever. And I totally understand that. And if he works out, the storyline is going to be amazing. There's just a part of me that's like, we don't know if he can do it. And if he can, then this Utah team is going to be dangerous. And there's no doubt about that.
And that's absolutely a fair concern to have. Again, because it is his first time taking over, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, he can say all the right things, and the energy can be there, which I thought it was, but is it going to be now backed up on the football field?
But compared to other candidates, I guess you'd rather have a guy who's been around through and through than, you know, a complete outsider coming in. So I'll give him that, right? But it's just, I mean, those are big shoes to fill.
You never want to be the guy that follows the guy.
No, you don't. And nobody's going to fill those shoes right away. But again, like, Witt followed Urban.
But if there's anybody...
and Urban followed Coach Mack. Like,
right.
So I don't know. maybe it does. Maybe there is just something in the water.
They've had a good string of successors, and I think again, looking at somebody who's been with the program as a player, somebody who's been with the program as an assistant coach, somebody who's been with the program as a defensive coordinator, somebody who was with the program as Kyle Whittingham was building the foundation that you currently see the University of Utah being built on. There's no doubt in my mind that the right guy is in the right place for this team.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I just can't wait to get the season underway. You know, all of this speculation that we've had since December 26th, right? And how is Morgan Scalley going to do as head coach? Now that media days are here, it's like, okay, bring me, September 2nd, September 3rd when the season kicks off. I can't get here fast enough. I really am curious because that's the other thing, Alex, is not only does Scally walk around with a new energy, but a lot of the team does. And you kind of hinted at it, brought it up. Like a lot of these players are excited to see how this team changes under Scally because it does not sound like it's going to be the same old Utah and quote unquote protect the defense. It seems like that is a thing of the past. And Morgan Scally is going to try and bring more of a balanced approach to this Utah team. And it's a team game, not just do whatever you can to make the defense look good because defense wins games. No, I think Scally has kind of accepted the new era of,
right.
You know, you can win putting up 40 points a game.
And I love that you bring that up, the emphasis on the defense, because his emphasis from what he said at the podium, from what he said on the station, has been more focused on, I want to be an explosive offense.
Which he has to do.
I want to be physical on offense, right? The focus has been on what the offense is going to do rather than what the defense is going to look like now under new defensive coordinator Colton Swan. It's been, we want to be explosive, we want to be physical offensively, and trying to steer the conversation to be focused on Utah's offense, which has been a topic of conversation under Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah, the defensive guy getting promoted to head coach, nobody's going to have worries about the defense.
Yeah.
The assumption is that defense is going to continue being good as it was under Scally as the defensive coordinator. The question is, as Scally knows, what can he do to make this offense more effective? And I think he did a really good job coming out and being just straight up about it and, almost wanting to promote that, I guess I would put it. Like he wants to promote, there are changes to this offense coming. And I guess the culture at Utah and the way they go about winning football games.
Mark Harlan also made his rounds. Sat down with the guys down there at Frisco, and he also emphasized that this team seems to be more of one under new head coach Morgan Scally.
I think the one thing that I've really enjoyed is, and it's true, I don't think this is any secret, there's been kind of a defensive-offensive approach at Utah for a long time, and to watch the team all come together under some of the leadership training that Morgan's doing for all of them and, kind of being one a little bit more than we've been, I think will be really helpful in certain situations as we move forward.
So it's not just offense versus defense anymore. It is now
one team.
We're operating as one, and we're moving forward as one, and that's what the feeling I got from, again, Morgan Scally having those conversations, and then of course Mark Harlan sitting down, the athletic director, and essentially emphasizing the same thing as well. And Mark Harlan too has taken his fair share of scrutiny and criticism over the last couple of weeks because of some of the decisions being made, how the departure of Kyle Whittingham was handled, but I also thought that Mark Harlan presented the program well in emphasizing this team is more unified. This team is more under one.
Well, and you look at the pieces on offense, and it just makes sense to want to cater to that. You look at who they're bringing back. They managed to bring back both quarterbacks, Devin Dampier and Bird Ficklin, to, I think, a lot of people's surprise. You look at what Bird was able to do as a true freshman backup quarterback last year. He had a few games where he broke 100 yards rushing. I mean, what was it, the Colorado game? He had 3 touchdowns of 50-plus yards or something crazy like that. So you've got 2 very dynamic, explosive weapons at the quarterback position. You also bring in Wayshawn Parker, who is like 11 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season. As a team, this offense broke the school record with 3,462 rushing yards, 41 rushing touchdowns. They were one of the top offenses in college football last year. So you get that. Why would you want to move away from that? You recognize the pieces that you have and you bring in the new offensive coordinator, Kevin McGivern, and Pagan from Utah State is going to come down and presumably be your wide receiver one. So it's like you'd almost be stupid to not want to lean into that. Not just lean into that, but build upon what we saw last season from this Utah offense because they were so good. And that's without even bringing up the struggles in the pass game. And I think a little bit was brought up about Devin Dampier's injuries last year and about how he was hampered by a sounds like it was a sports hernia, right? And that severely limited him. And we came on and talked about on Saturdays and in the post-game shows, like there were a few games where Dampier really struggled to throw the ball.
Absolutely.
So if you truly believe that he was held back by that injury and that he can come out and be a much better passer than he was last year, on top of healthier as a rusher, Dampier could finish as the best quarterback in the Big 12. And I don't know if that means NFL aspirations because of the size concerns, but you look at some of the guys in this league, you know, Noah Fafita, Bear Bachmeier, Devin Dampier could have a better season than anybody else in this league because it sounds like they believe in him as a true dual threat quarterback.
Yeah. For Devin Dampier, the way that I look at it, I mean, he has to answer those questions too, right? About the limitations, about the passing game, and about the injury. But I mean, even looking at the numbers he put up last season, the 2,490 yards with 24 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. And now you're telling me that Devin Dampier's coming into the season healthy. Absolutely, he has a chance to be the best quarterback in this conference.
Yeah,
if he can come in and I think answer those questions quickly, the conversation will continue to evolve and the conversation will continue to change about this Utah offense and about where Morgan Scalley can take this program in year one. Another thing too that I think will continue to be a staple for this team is of course Wayshawn Parker and the rushing game and how successful and how crazy that running game was last season where they were amongst the best, right? They're putting up Navy numbers, they're putting up amongst the best in the conference when it came to rushing the ball. And of course Wayshawn Parker also talked about being the clear number one running back for this Utah offense.
It boosted my confidence just a little bit because coming in, sharing the backfield was like, okay, like I got another running back that I'm comparing myself to. Now that he's saying that I need to get more carries, it's like, okay, 10 times higher. Like, now I'm that guy. Now I need to step up and prove everybody that I'm that guy and get myself out there.
If he can come in him and Daniel Bray, and then on top of that you throw in Bert Ficklin, his ability to run, Devin Dampier's ability to run, there's no reason why this team shouldn't be running the ball the way that they were last season until you look at that offensive line and how much turnover you had, how much of the coaching help that you had on that offensive line that is now gone and left. So I think the answer isn't isn't about the runner and the runner's ability. It's going to be about the blocking. It's going to be about the young, untested offensive line and what they can do coming into this next season.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Daniel Bray, right, and his ability to come in and spell Wayshawn, but you're right. Last year, Wayshawn Parker averaged just over 11 carries a game. And obviously, you look at the game-by-game numbers. There was a clear uptick after game 5 or 6, right, when he kind of became the 1A. So you go into year 3 now, presuming he is the workhorse guy, and you bring in Daniel Bray as a change of pace guy. He's more speed and game-breaking ability versus a true every down back like Parker or a Bird Ficklin, right, who's going to come in and run some of these designed package runs. And then the Devin Dampier who can just run the option. There's no reason that this Utah team can't be, conservatively top 10 in the country in rushing again. They finished second last year. You mentioned losing a bunch of offensive linemen. I'll give them that. Who was 10th last year? You're looking at Indiana was about 3,400 yards compared to 3,462 for the Utes. So it's like, I feel like that is attainable.
Absolutely. A lot of optimism and a lot of optimism, and I think a lot of people look at this Utah team and are thrilled and excited to see what Morgan Scalley can do under first-year head coach, as the first-year head coach. And then you have, of course, looking at BYU, and I think the conversation for BYU is a little bit different. Again, I think Kalani, LJ, Keanu, and everybody that was there for BYU said all the right things, but the question for BYU is, at least for me, does it feel like BYU is entering the season and it's championship or bust?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Championship or bust? I don't know if
Big
that's
12 championship.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore in college football. Just because it seems like you can really cure all your problems in one offseason, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say, if you look at what BYU has as far as returning the quarterback, returning the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year in LJ Martin, returning some of these studs on the defense, instead of saying championship or bust, I'd say this year's chances are as good as any, right? I don't know. Do you think their chances are better this year or they were better last year, looking purely at the roster? Because last year they had Chase Roberts, right? And we knew he was a commodity at the wide receiver position. Now going into this year, they lose Chase. On the defensive side, they lose Jack Kelly, right? Two very heavy contributors. But then you look at Bear Bachmeier going into his second year as a starter, and how much better is he going to be? This offensive line is going to be really good. We know that. And again, they still have studs on the defense like Tanavasa, Glasker, Satuala. So if they can patch something together in the receiver room, I'd put them as the favorite over Texas Tech. I really would.
So On Three was down there at media days, and they polled all the Big 12 coaches. And they did their preseason poll after getting getting the feelers from all the head coaches down there at Big 12 media days, and the BYU ended up taking number one.
Okay.
As amongst the Big 12 coaches, and I wonder how much that is to obviously. I think it's a little bit of a mix of both. Of obviously BYU returning so much that they have a really good shot of making it back to that Big 12 championship game, but also maybe a little bit of a jab at Texas Tech and not wanting to put Texas Tech at the top.
And we'll talk a little bit about that next segment. But that was a clear, hanging over everybody's head was who is this freaking Texas Tech team? Who let them in?
Kalani Sitake, again, saying all the right things, and I think they all handled the questions really well about, does this team have the aspirations right to go win the championship? And of course, Kalani Sitake being humble and hungry, sidesteps the question a little bit. But I think all of them said the right thing, right? If everybody can play, to their best ability, stay healthy, this team I think has can aspire to a lot. And then, of course, the question coming into the season is going to be how you replace Jay Hill. For Kalani Sitake, it was always going to be Kelly Papinga.
I knew K-Pop was going to be special long ago, even before he came on the staff. The reputation that he created for himself as a coach, in recruiting as an assistant, and even what he's done with Bronco was really impressive. Guys like Fred Warner, Sione Takitaki, Harvey Longy, all those guys were singing the praises of Kelly Papinga, especially Fred. Fred really loved him. And so I took note of it, and anytime I get him on staff, I wanted to, so we brought him in. Once he was here with Jay, I knew that he'd be the next guy in line.
Sitake, Papinga, Scally, they're all cut from the same cloth, and that is the Whittingham tree, the Fred Whittingham tree. And so when you have that much talent returning on the defensive side, you get Keanu Tanavasa back, you get Falatal Satuala back, you get Isaiah Glasker back. The list goes on for BYU. When you have that much talent returning, I feel like it makes the job for Kelly Papinga just that much easier to scheme, to plan, to figure things out when you have that continuity defensively, despite losing Jay Hill, your defensive coordinator from last season.
One thing I really like about that clip is he says he was preparing to lose Jay Hill, right? And that had kind of been discussed on the station, not just us, but all of the shows. How long is Jay Hill going to stick around?
Yeah.
Because we were presuming he was going to be a head coach soon. And even when Utah State hired Bronco, I firmly believe Jay Hill was in the mix, right? I know Jay Hill has been talking to other teams about becoming a head coach. So you look at Kalani Sitake, he's not stupid. He's been prepping for that. He's been preparing for that.
Right.
He's had this plan he hasn't said, how long he's been planning on losing Jay Hill, but ever since they made that leap from his first year to his second year as the D coordinator, when they went from, middle of the pack to one of the best defenses in the Big 12. That's when you have to look at what you have and say, yeah, he's too good to be a coordinator with us forever. How can I have a backup plan ready? So Kalani has clearly had K-pop locked and loaded and ready to go. I mean, he said as much in that clip. He knew that he was going to eventually lose Jay Hill, and he knew that he had to have a successor handpicked because you never know when that change is going to happen. This is the offseason that it does. So he goes with K-pop.
The change happens this offseason. It's Kelly Papinga's defense now, and Keanu Tonavaso sitting down with the guys. So last season, Glasgow and Kelly had phenomenal seasons, right? And they were put in phenomenal positions to be successful. And Keanu Tonavaso talks about that, how the defense ran a little bit through those linebackers, but now it's time for the big boys to step up.
For us on the defensive line, I think we've recognized that we need to step it up a little bit. Last year was great. I think it was a little difficult. I think Jay Hill ran his defense a little bit around Jack Kelly and sure. Glasgow, which was great, and it worked for us, as you can see. But now it's sticking to, with K-pop taking over, letting the pass rush be between the big boys up front and adding a backer here and there. It's being wise with our timing about when we choose to blitz, but letting the boys eat. Let them get after it. Don't just try and open up gaps for linebackers, but let's get home.
When you have a leader like Keanu Tonavaso going and saying stuff like that, right, and you have leaders across this defense, there's just no part of me that thinks that there will be a massive fall-off under Kelly Papinga. I think, again, Kelly Papinga and Kalani Sitake are set up to continue the dominance that BYU's defense has had through the course of the last 2 seasons.
So what he's trying to say there, last year, the last several years, there's been kind of a hubbub about BYU's defensive ends.
Right, and we've talked about it, right?
Yeah, we talked about it here and on the postgame and stuff. You look at the sack leaders last year for BYU. Jack Kelly led with 10. The next closest were Bodie Schoonover with 3 and Isaiah Glasgow with 3, right? Anisi Purcell had 2. Tonavaso himself had 2. You had several other players add 1. But you look at the discrepancy between, your leader, Jack Kelly with 10, and then the next best guy. And watching the games, it was clear, like Tonavaso was saying, their job was kind of just to hold up the lineman, send Jack Kelly on a blitz, and hope he either pressures the quarterback or gets a sack. And it worked because Jack Kelly was a special player. But now that he's gone, how does BYU change their defense, to be more traditional, where your pass rush comes from the defensive line and you don't have the special player that can kind of go out and do it all? Not to say that Isaiah Glasgow isn't cut from a similar cloth as Jack Kelly. And, you got this other linebacker coming in who's supposed to be really good too. But Jack Kelly was special, right? He was in there, people compared him to Fred Warner. Like, he was a really, really good player. Now things are going to be a little bit different, more traditional, where you're relying on your defensive tackles, defensive ends to get pressure, get sacks, maybe send a blitz here and there, but it's not always going to be Jack Kelly as the spy, boom, fire.
Yeah.
Go get the QB.
I mean, I am curious to see how if the defensive line can step up a little bit more for BYU, because that has been
they need to.
That's been the biggest knock.
If this is what they're doing, they need to.
That's what's been the biggest knock for BYU defensively the last couple of years, and so I'm excited to see if the defensive line can step up to the challenge. As far as the offensive side goes, you mentioned the wide receivers. There's big questions of who's going to catch the passes. Bear Bachmeier, right? What does his evolution look like from year 1 to year 2? But I think the biggest thing for BYU offensively is just having LJ Martin back, and he talked about it with the guys about not going to the NFL and returning to BYU for another season.
It was just more like they're really unsure of my speed, and if I were to test, I think I test really well. And that's part of the reason I came back, because I had my shoulder surgery, so I wouldn't have been able to test. That was a big part of the reason I came back.
It's about his injury, right? When we talk, he goes out in the Iowa State game, doesn't return, and then he kind of plays banged up for the rest of the year. He goes through the offseason surgery. He comes back now in what is supposed to be his final year, and you bring back one of the best players offensively in the Big 12 last season.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what his draft stock looks like, because you look at the NFL draft, right? I'm an NFL nerd. This year's draft, the running back class was seen as pretty weak.
Yeah.
Next year's draft is supposed to be stacked. So we'll see how that pays off for LJ Martin as far as not going in a weak class versus now choosing to go out in what is supposed to be a really stacked class. But if he repeats as Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year or puts up a similar season to what he did last year, NFL teams are going to be standing in line to draft LJ Martin because he is a very talented player and his running style really, really projects to the professional level.
LJ Martin, if he can put up the numbers that he put up the last year, I have a hard time seeing him not have crazy NFL draft stock. And then, of course, if he goes out and he tests great, despite it being a more stacked running back room this year, there should be some aspirations there for him to be drafted.
1,000%.
Absolutely. And I think that he can translate very well to the NFL level. But there's still a whole season that needs to be played, and so if he can go out there and just prove and continue to put up the numbers and the production that he put up last season, there's no doubt in my mind LJ Martin can be in that conversation. For BYU, even if you make the Big 12 game and you lose, but you make the college football playoff, is that a trade-off that you think Kalani Sitake and the guys will want to give up?
Making the playoff?
Yeah, absolutely. But it does feel like it's there for the taking as far as the Big 12 goes. It's there for the taking as far as Texas Tech and the whole Brendan Sorsby situation and everybody voting for BYU. It seems like it's there for the taking for BYU. It's just now you have to go out there, produce, and answer a couple questions offensively like the wide receivers, but the path is laid out for BYU to potentially make it back to that Big 12 championship game.
I think it's very clear, at the end of the day, that there's a very consistent top dogs in the conference, and that is BYU and Texas Tech. And then you look at the teams behind them, that's when you can talk about Utah, Arizona, and Houston, probably those three teams. How closely can they compete with BYU and Texas Tech? Because you look at last year, those two teams finished at the top. Utah was right there behind them in the standings. Their game against BYU was close, but their game against Texas Tech was not. So it never really felt like Utah was a true contender. I think once they played Texas Tech, it was like, okay, they're not going to the title game. I wonder this year how closely that second group of teams can compete with the top two teams.
And it'll help out with as far as the case of Utah and BYU goes of potentially making that championship game. Helps out a little bit that Texas Tech is not on that schedule.
Well, they have a cake schedule. That's why their schedule is so easy, because they don't play Utah or BYU. So to your point, I mean, that bodes well for Utah or BYU. I doubt it helps both of them, because that means that there's a very clear path for Texas Tech to finish with at least 10 or 11 conference wins.
Right. Let's take a break. We'll continue talking Big 12 Media Days, some conference takeaways. Brett Yormark, of course, in the Brendan Sorsby situation, and then look around the Big 12 and see what other teams stood out as far as Big 12 Media Day goes. That's coming up next on the other side. It is the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome to. This is Chase Scott and Ben Anderson.
Covering the Jazz for the Deseret News, she is Sarah Todd. I don't think Jackson Hayes is the solution. Nurk, I'm not sure if he's the solution either. What do you think the Jazz do as far as center going forward?
None of that is going to be a solution long term, right? But anybody that thinks that the Jazz going into this particular season being a legitimate title contender, that's not realistic. It doesn't have to be that the Jazz have their perfect center for the timeline for this team right now. This Jazz team needs to be able to prove, as constructed, that they're able to win games. The expectation is still, you make the playoffs, you definitely need to be a play-in team, like at worst. Yeah, down the road, the center position is going to need to be fortified a little bit, but that can happen over the next few years kind of as they ramp their way up through the Western Conference.
Catch Jake and Ben, afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, Doug, what is it that you do? Everybody's buying a car from you. Hey, Doug.
For over 20 years, Doug Smith is Utah's Kia leader for sales, parts, and service. Come see why today at our new location in Linden, Utah.
Hey, Doug.
Greater Zion, no greater feeling. At Southern Utah's Copper Rock Golf Course, we embrace that feeling. Here, every swing is surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and world-class amenities, providing that perfect pairing of golf and unforgettable outdoor experiences. Come for the golf. Stay for the adventure. Copper Rock, born to be played.
Hey, I'm not one to say I told you so, but do you remember last year when I told you that Pure Talk was hands down the best wireless company that I'd ever used? Well, some of you were skeptical, but Consumer Reports just asked 120,000 people to rate every wireless company in America, including the big boys. Well, guess which company was the only company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. No service contracts, no cancellation fees, just great U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network for a fraction of what you've been paying. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I will encourage you one more time to dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
If you've tried Beehive meals, you know how easy they make dinner with their classic slow cooker meals. Now they're bringing that same convenience and flavor to summer with their flat top meals. Perfect for barbecue season. Heading to the pool, the park, or the lake? Before you go, put a slow cooker meal like Bang Bang chicken or barbecue pork in before you leave. And come home to dinner done. Or fire up the griddle with favorites like carne asada, chicken fajitas, and pineapple barbecue chicken. Order today at beehivemeals.com.
Tim Daly Mazda Southtown has as low as 0% financing on almost our full lineup of 2026 models, including 2026 Mazda CX-50s, Mazda 3 hatchbacks, and even our PHEV models. That's right, as low as 0% on your favorite new Mazda during the More to Move You sales event, happening now at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown in Sandy. 0% excludes Mazda Miata and Mazda CX-5 models. APR for well-qualified buyers. OAC, 72 months and $13.89 per month per 1,000 financed with 0 down. Not available with any other offer. See dealer for complete details.
I don't think anybody ever expects to hear that their child has cancer. It's always one of those things that happens to somebody else. But it definitely feels like your soul is sucked out of your body when they tell you that it's your baby. I knew that St. Jude was a children's hospital. I knew that no one ever received a bill from St. Jude, but I in no way understood how amazingly and completely they take care of their patients and their families. When we first got here, Hunter was in an incredible amount of pain, and St. Jude gave him the most superb care. Childhood cancer is devastating, but childhood cancer is beatable with St. Jude. To any of the donors, I would say bless you and thank you, because without the donors, St. Jude wouldn't be here.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Are your kids picky eaters? Bring them in and try our chicken fingers or a grilled cheese sandwich. They'll be smiling big in no time. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock around. That's right, on time. It's tricky. Here we go. It's tricky to rock around, to rock around. That's right, on time. It's tricky. It's tricky.
Welcome back in. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Napolis, Christian Esparza taking you through your Saturday morning. Christian, you knew it was coming. You knew it was going to happen. You knew that the Big 12 media was going to be surrounding the Brendan Sorsby situation. You knew people were going to ask, and immediately, right, Brett Yormark goes to the podium. He talks about how great everything in the conference is going, and then the very first question right off the bat, of course, has to do with Texas Tech, Brendan Sorsby, and the gambling situation. And he makes a comment and says, this is not the time or place to have this conversation. We're going forward as 16 strong.
When is the time
and place? Then moves on. Then I think that's the biggest question, right? When is the time and place to have the conversation about Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby? There was a report that came out from Yahoo Sports after day one where apparently the Big 12 officials, Brett Yormark, flew out to Lubbock. They had a dinner to try to reconcile with Texas Tech. And then, of course, the media's day happens. And I feel like this is an opportunity for Yormark to to dive into a little bit of that and say, hey, look, we're moving forward. We're going to give just, I guess, the feeling that you're bearing the hatchet, right? And you're moving forward together, but instead you completely sidestep the question. You completely dodge everything that comes your way about Brendan Sorsby. And, it leads to, I guess, the speculation of, oh, there's still
bad blood.
There's still fallout. There's still bad blood. And I'm just wondering, again, of course, how the conference is going to move forward with Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech.
Yeah, if it was resolved, I mean, how easy would it be for Brett Yormark to stand up there and say, you know what, this happened. We found a resolution. Brendan Sorsby is not going to be playing football. Texas Tech and the Big 12 are ready to move on. How easy is it to say that versus the look that you give when you say, you know what, let's not talk about it right now. And on top of that, it's like Texas Tech is walking around with this big cloud over their heads.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just McGuire, the head coach, and the AD, but even like the media, because now there's this like little brother picked on, what's the word I'm looking for? Complex.
Yeah.
They have a complex now that they are being treated unfairly, and we'll bring this up in technical fouls because a media member had a question like that. But you even see some of the stuff online, like Texas Tech media members are talking about getting out of the Big 12 as soon as they can. And the next time there's conference realignment, Tech needs to do what they can to get out of the Big 12 because the Big 12 didn't support them and stuff. And
and it seems like there's a resounding, okay, do it.
Yeah, okay, do it. But you even look at Cody Campbell and some of the comments he made during this Sorsby saga, and it's like, oh, why do they not want Sorsby to play? It's because they're scared of Texas Tech. Nobody ever wants to see Texas Tech do good, and everybody wants to pick on Texas. It's like, dude, if you would just shut up and play by the rules and not try and be edgy and controversial,
you did this to yourself.
Nobody would care.
You did this to yourself. And Joey McGuire goes as far to say that during one of his meetings, he says, had he known the fallout and had he known that this was going to be the reception that Texas Tech received, and got from everybody else in the conference, then they would have approached the situation differently. And hindsight's 20/20, right? You can go back and you can say, oh, we should have done this differently. But the reality is, what happened, and now you have to face the consequences of those actions.
Yes.
And whether that is, the Big 12 continuing forward with the lawsuit, whether that is whatever punishment that the conference decided to give Texas Tech, sometimes you just have to deal with those consequences.
Do you think they should be punished?
At this point, probably not.
That's where I'm at too.
At this point, probably not. The conversation obviously is different if the injunction would have stood, if the injunction would have...
And if Sorsby would have walked out
and played those games, absolutely, then that's a different conversation. But now that he's not even a part of the team, I'm sure that the lawsuit will eventually get pulled and everything will get thrown under the rug and we'll be expected to move on and forget about it.
And part of the reason is the Big 12 needs Texas Tech, to be frank, because we're sitting here talking about them as one of the top teams in the conference.
Right.
The Big 12 right now is getting pushed aside when it comes to college football playoff expansion talk and all of that. It's all about the Big 10 and the SEC, because the Big 12 hasn't done anything when they get to the college football playoff. The best thing that can happen is for whoever the Big 12 sends, whether it's Tech or BYU or Utah, to get into the playoff and make noise. Right now, as it sits today, Tech is one of the best teams in the Big 12. So it's in the Big 12's best interest for Texas Tech to make the college football playoff, win a game or two, and look like they belong on the national stage. And it's in Texas Tech's interest to play good boy and, be the powerhouse of the Big 12.
Sure. And they have a lot to answer to, right? But as far as what the conference can do in the college football playoff, because they were the representative of the Big 12 last season and didn't do so well against Oregon.
Yeah.
And so now, as far as
they got blanked.
As far as going forward, the Big 12 needs these heavy hitters. They need Texas Tech. They need BYU. They need Utah. They need whatever Arizona is going to do this season. Whether or not Houston can repeat what they did last year, they need somebody. They need these type of teams to stand out above the rest. So then that way, going forward, when it comes to those conversations of college football playoff expansion, which it still seems like it's going to be 16, it's going to be 24, whatever they decide to do going forward. The Big 12 needs to make sure that they have those big brands and those big seats, or those big heavy hitters, I guess. So then that way they can have a seat at the table.
Yeah,
absolutely. As far as you know, the monster deal goes, a lot of scrutiny over the 1.25, whatever it is, for every
When
every
did
team.
everybody become market evaluators on how much a sponsorship is worth? And number two, why do you care? Like, it's not going into your checkbook. Why do you care if, I don't know. That's where I'm at. And we also know that it's not barring them from making other deals. So
I do like that it came out later that evening, right? That the Big 12 teams can still negotiate their own jersey patches. They
Yeah.
can still go out and get their own sponsors. So I mean, that's not the only money that's available there
Right.
as far as the jersey sponsorship goes. As far as the 1.25 million goes, it is a low number. I think it is a low number for every school. And if it had been a little bit higher, I don't think we're having this conversation, right? The only reason why it's even been a big talking point as far as the Big 12 Media Day goes, it's because the number seems low for every as far as
Sure.
the payout goes to every school.
Yeah.
To have now the monster logo a part of your jerseys and your court and your field, and then you know, Brett Yormark talks about it all the time, right? They want to be. They'll never come out and say like, "Oh, we're as great," or "We can be as good as the Big Ten, the SEC."
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you want to be at that level, you need the financials to back it, and this seems a little low as far as those financials backing it.
Okay, Alex, my question for you is, have you seen the offers from other energy drinks on what they would have paid for this same deal?
I have not.
Okay.
Have you?
No, nobody has.
Exactly.
So how is it? That's where I'm at. Is how is it fair to say?
Well,
how
now
can you come up with this seems a little low? I don't know what the numbers look like.
Well, and then you're setting a low market.
Sure.
It seems like you're setting a low market for now having your patches on, you know, having to add your patch onto every jersey, onto every court, onto every field. The number just seems low as far as a 1.25 whatever it is million for every school.
Maybe. Seems low. That's the thing. Like, we have nothing to base it on. Seems low, sure, maybe.
Uncharted territory, man.
Right.
Uncharted territory.
Hey, it's free money. And
that's
if
true.
you're a school like Utah and you really need the money, then you can take it.
I will not refer to it, though, as the Monster Energy Big 12 football.
No, I don't care about that.
It's just it's too long.
Yeah.
It's too long. I'm not going to refer to it as Monster Energy. Anything else stand out to you as far as the Big 12 Media Day goes? I think that there was a lot of really good things from other schools, and you know, we'll pump up go over to KSLSports.com. Go to wherever you find your podcast. There's a lot of really great stuff. If you haven't heard the conversation with Noah Fifita and the guys, I highly recommend it. What a great conversation. Noah Fifita, I have a hard time cheering against him, you know? He carries himself in a really, really positive way, and loved the conversation that the guys had with him. So again, if you haven't heard that, go back, listen to it. Really great conversation too with Rich Clark, the executive director of the College Football Playoff. If you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend going back and listening to that as well. But what else stood out to you, Christian, from Big 12 Media Days?
I'm with you. I really like Fifita. I think there is some buzz around Arizona and what they can do because you're bringing back a veteran quarterback. He's one of the most, if not the most veteran quarterback in the conference at this point, especially with guys like Sawyer Robertson and Josh Hoover moving on.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Fifita can do for that Arizona program because they took a step forward last year. How much better can they be? And then you look at Houston, too, another team.
A lot of love for Houston.
That I think surpassed expectations last year, and how much of it was they had a weak schedule and a weak conference versus, Willie Fritz is really turning these guys into something. And then TCU is another team that I think a lot of people point to as a dark horse. If there were to be, a team outside of these top 5 or 6 that ends up making a run towards the conference title, we'll see what TCU can do with their new quarterback, Jaden Craig,
Yeah. One of the bigger takeaways too that I took away from all this was the fact that there are a lot of really intriguing transfers. You mentioned the quarterback, right, for TCU, but there's all types of intriguing transfers all over the conference, right? Nobody's talking about Baylor and DJ Lagway. Guy highly recruited out of high school, ends up at Florida, maybe doesn't necessarily live up to expectations, but now that he's at Baylor, there are some expectations there for him to maybe finally get over the hump and get to the level that everybody anticipated it for him to be at. Where does Arizona State go at their quarterback position after losing Sam Levitt? There's a lot of really interesting and intriguing transfers coming into this conference that I think will either make or break some teams.
And part of the reason it's so interesting is because you look at why there have been so many transfers. And you look at Arizona State. Well, they lost their quarterback to a bigger school in a bigger conference. How do they replace that? You look at TCU. Their quarterback went to Indiana, the defending champions. Right? Same thing with Sawyer Robertson and Baylor. Lost him to a bigger school in a bigger conference. So, again, that's where the Big 12 sits. Like, if their players transfer out, if the star players are transferring out, it's because they are going to the SEC or the Big 10 and they're going to a really good school. How do these Big 12 teams now step in and replace that homegrown talent with some of these other guys? Like, I don't know, you look at a guy like Lagway and it's a career underperformer. Can he finally turn his career around and reach those high expectations that he had coming in? Can he finally do that now that he's in the Big 12 instead of under the microscope of a much bigger program?
Absolutely. A lot of really great stuff coming out of Media Days. Again, I cannot recommend enough going over to wherever you get your podcast, KSLSports.com, and listening to some of the really great conversations that we had throughout the course of Big 12 Media Days. And we'll go forward from there, man. College football's right around the corner. This always feels like Big 12 Media Days is the official the kickoff to the college football season, and we're 49 days away from college football being played, Christian.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right, we'll take a break. Technical fouls coming up on the other side. We'll continue talking Brett Yormark. We'll also also some funny stuff coming out of Big 12 Media Days. As far as the Colorado program is concerned, that's coming up next here on the Saturday show. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeCombe.
Nobody cares about the score. Washington did beat the Jazz 92-88. AJ DeBonsa, his first game in Summer League, had some moments. Darren Peterson still put up the points, but not quite at the level and quite the efficiency that we saw in the 2 games in Salt Lake City. So everybody out there is like, oh, AJ won that head-to-head battle.
You've got to remove loyalty, which is hard to do. And I think in this case, there's a lot of people that are torn in this valley because, one guy, AJ, played here locally, and then obviously Darren being picked. So I just actually sat back like a coach would sit back, and I watched it, and I think what AJ showed is what AJ can do. Basically, on one end, AJ was kind of being AJ, and on the other end, Washington was hell-bent on not even letting him get a catch.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
At University of Utah Health, we're mapping DNA to find the cause and the cure. Because 1 in a million is really just one. One person facing one incredibly difficult diagnosis. Looking for one thing: hope. Learn more at uofuhealth.org.
Most families get their financial advice in pieces. A financial advisor here, a CPA there, and a state attorney somewhere else. Everyone means well, but nobody's talking to each other, and those gaps can work against you. Trajan Wealth's family office brings wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning together, not as separate conversations, but as one coordinated system built around your life, your goals, and the people who matter most. Ours is a true family office, not one that refers you out because it's convenient. This kind of dedicated collaboration used to require a 7-figure net worth, but here's the game changer. Trajan kicked that door open. Trajan advisors are fiduciaries, always obligated, always honored to act in your best interest. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax.
It's DJ PK and John from J. Brooks Jewelers. John, everybody wants a deal. Everybody wants to save some money. Guess what? It's time for a sale at J. Brooks Jewelers, isn't it?
Thanks, DJ. At J. Brooks Jewelers in Murray and Lehigh, our annual sample sale means everything in stock is 15 to 60% off. From engagement rings and wedding bands to diamond earrings, necklaces, bracelets, estate treasures, and more, you'll find incredible savings throughout our entire in-stock collection. So whether you're celebrating a special occasion or shopping for an upcoming proposal, or simply treating yourself, we'll help you find a piece that you'll love at exceptional value. With one-of-a-kind styles, timeless classics, and limited inventory, this is the best opportunity of the year to shop before your favorite pieces are gone. So visit J. Brooks Jewelers in Murray and Lehigh starting Saturday, July 11th for the annual sample sale and discover your next favorite piece while savings last.
J. Brooks Jewelers in Lehigh, Murray, and online at jbrooksjewelers.com.
Tim Hughes back with Greg and Mike at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. Now, you may be ready for summer, but the question today is, are your lawn and garden areas ready for summer, for the long, dry, hot summertime? To make sure that they are ready, you need a good foundation, and that starts with good soil blends. Greg, you've got them all here at Replenish.
Yes, it's in the soil where it all takes place. That's where you're going to get good nutrients for your plants. We have a topsoil compost blend, which is phenomenal, and also a Ute Light Garden Mix. Both of them are used by the best landscapers in the valley.
It's also, Mike, going to help hold the moisture that you do get, either from Mother Nature or you put down yourself.
It does, yeah. It's got compost in it, and that will help retain that moisture. We have it in bulk or bag. You can come pick it up, or we can deliver it as well.
Come by and see them here at Replenish Landscape Garden Products, 4660 South 200 West in Murray. Find them online at replenishcompost.com or give them a call, 801-262-5142. It's good stuff.
Celebrate America 250 at 500 Degrees, Ruth's Chris, Sizzling Steaks, Crisp Linens, Blue Ribbon Service, Downtown Salt Lake or Hotel Park City. This summer, skip the heat and savor perfection at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win a family 4-pack of tickets to see Zach Bryan at Rice-Eccles Stadium on August 7th. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. If you switch the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul. If you touch the thermostat, you'll get hit with a bat, 'cause that's a technical foul. You will feel my wrath. That's a technical foul.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
A technical foul.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Napolis and Christian Esparza. It is time for Technical Fouls, where we talk about the sillier, funnier, maybe dumber things happening in the world of sports. How about this one coming out of Big 12 Media Days, Christian? Julian Lewis, the quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes. He was having a conversation with ESPN. And they asking him questions just about his time and his experience at Colorado. And Julian Lewis talks about Deion Sanders and the offensive coordinator and kind of their approach to how they game plan for some of these games.
The most since last year to now?
My play, I'm actually looking at the defenses now. Last year we wasn't really looking at defense as much, just kind of high school free ball and just out there playing football. But it's a lot bigger than that now, so it should be fun.
I kid you not, man.
Since last year
I saw that come across the Twitter feed, and I legitimately thought it was AI.
Yeah,
I thought it was a fake clip, but it actually is Julian Lewis coming out and saying that they weren't looking at defenses; they were just going out there and freestyling.
It doesn't surprise me at all. And again, nerding out a little bit here because of who their offensive coordinator was. Do you know who it was?
Yeah, it was Pat Shurmur, right?
Pat Shurmur.
Yeah.
Pat Shurmur. NFL flameout.
Yes.
Pat Shurmur.
Yep.
You know who his last job was before he was with the Buffs?
That I don't remember.
He was the OC, offensive coordinator for my Denver Broncos.
There you go.
Who are those horrible orange creatures over there?
So
Tell them I hate
have
them.
Experience.
So I saw firsthand how bad of an offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur is. I believe he lasted 2 years with my Donks under Vic Fangio. Those offenses were unwatchable.
Yeah.
They were very bad, and I'm pretty sure it was Pat Shurmur's fault. Because
it might actually be his fault, because
Right.
now Julian Lewis comes out and says, "Oh well, we weren't actually scheming for defenses."
I mean, you look at his career history, and he has been. I mean, he started as a grad assistant in 1998, right? So he has clearly been doing this forever. But then you look at the on-field product, and it's like, how has he been doing this forever? Because Yeah, it's been pretty bad the last few years. Before the Broncos, he was the head coach of the Giants. Those teams sucked, 2018 and 2019.
Right.
Vikings offensive coordinator in 2017. Yada, yada. Anyways, looking at Colorado last year, it was pretty clear that they didn't have a game plan on offense.
Well, and then there was that clip. I forget who their quarterback was last season, but there was that clip of their quarterback getting the play call.
Julian
Sayin, and then he looked absolutely bewildered by what Pat Shurmur had just called. So
crazy.
It was funny to hear Julian Lewis say that, and especially too. I didn't think it was a real clip, but here we are. Another one coming out of Big 12 Media Days real quick. Sean Dillon, a reporter down there from Texas Tech, and Brett Yormark, and the spicy exchange they had at the podium.
Texas Tech got fined over tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU paddles broke an always maker rule, has a tradition exemption. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders. Big 12 sued them anyway, while Cincinnati hasn't been yet touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe it?
Could you sit? Let me come closer to you. Stand up. Ask that question again, and I'm going to give you the answer I want to give you, so go ahead.
Texas Tech got fined for tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU has had paddles that were given a noisemaker exemption back in 2012. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders, and yet there is a lawsuit. Cincinnati has yet to be touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe them?
No, I didn't say greater than 12. You misquoted me. I said we're going forward as 16 strong, and that's my answer to your question. But thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
Oh, I love everything about that clip, man. Brett Yormark, man, getting spicy, essentially walking across the stage and saying, "Hey, you need to stand up and repeat the question." Sean, the reporter guy, looking down at his paper, reading it verbatim off the
verbatim.
paper. Then stands up, repeats the question, and just completely, butchers it by saying bigger than greater than 12 or whatever it was. And then Brett Yormark sidestepping the Brendan Sorsby situation and kind of, putting him in his place a little bit and then moving on.
Yeah. Again, I brought this up last segment, but it's this victim mentality that Texas Tech is bringing upon themselves.
Right.
Because, again, nobody forced them to support Brendan Sorsby. When that whole situation came up, the easiest thing for everybody would have been for Texas Tech to say, "Oh, you broke the cardinal rule in sports? Yeah, you're not suiting up." But instead, they fully supported him. They stood behind him. They released a ridiculous 22-minute video with their athletic director and their coach and a couple other people in the administration talking about how much they support Brendan Sorsby. And they were willing to go to war, not just with the Big 12, but with college football as a whole, right? So this victim mentality, the reason everybody's mad at Texas Tech is because they brought it upon themselves. Nobody wants to just sit here and pick on Texas Tech because it's Tech. I promise you.
It's because the lawsuits.
Nobody thinks about the Red Raiders that much.
Right.
Nobody has the time to say, "Oh, it'd be funny to pick on Texas Tech." I would gladly respect them because they won the conference last year. I would gladly respect them, as a really good football team, as one of the top dogs in the conference, if they didn't do this to themselves. But now everybody wants to play victim. Everybody wants to act like it's the world against them when it's really them against the world.
Absolutely.
And it has infiltrated even the media. Even the media members covering Texas Tech have adopted the same mentality.
Well, and
that's the worst part. That's what's annoying about it.
And then too, if you watch the video of this whole interaction with Dylan and Yormark, it's the other reporters around Dylan, right, covering their faces. The looks of, oh man, of almost secondhand embarrassment a little bit.
You can see the screenshot of everybody burying their head in their hands,
Yep.
Who gave this guy a mic?
I do think, too, another funny wrinkle about all this to Sean Dillon's defense, right? This whole interaction happens on day 1.
Yeah.
By day 2 morning, it is being reported out there by Yahoo Sports and Russ Dellinger that the NCAA has sent an inquiry to Cincinnati regarding Brendan Sorsby. So to his defense, there is a little validity in his question, but his question didn't be dragged on the way that it did.
Well, and to his credit, to give him some speckle of credit, the Big 12 should have announced that investigation before media days had started. Why wait until day 2? You know there are going to be questions about it. So that was a bad look on the Big 12's hand, but you don't want to be that guy as a media member. You are a media member. Stop making this about you. This is not about you. This is about the teams. Sorry, but nobody cares who you are until you do something stupid. Until you look like an idiot online and you go viral. Now everybody knows who Sean Dillon from Lubbock is.
That is true. I had no idea who he was until yesterday, or until Tuesday.
Well, that's what he wanted, I guess.
We got time for one more real quick, Christian. What do you got for us?
NBA Summer League is going down in Vegas, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, Alex. But this one might have some lasting implications. Former teammates Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro reportedly got into a little scuffle at a practice court. Sounds like it was at a practice for Tyler Herro's AAU team. I'm forgetting where the practice court was. I think it was like Resorts World or something like that.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
And I don't know why Bam Adebayo would have been there, but apparently, Bam walked in, some words were exchanged, and the latest report says Bam did not hesitate to walk up and quote-unquote strike Tyler Herro.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
That's a good one.
It sounds like, I don't know if it was a slap or a punch, but you look at some media stuff from Tyler Herro yesterday, it looked like he had a little mark under his eye.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo punched Tyler Herro at Summer League. This is so funny.
That is insane. Did anybody... Here's my question, right? I hope first and foremost, I hope everyone's good. Everyone's okay. Secondly, did nobody record? Why haven't we seen a video pop up of this whole altercation? Because the second it happened with Draymond and Jordan Poole, the videos were surfacing less than an hour later. And
was it that fast? I thought it took some time.
I thought it was pretty quick.
I would be surprised if we don't have video by Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know. TMZ works pretty dang hard, especially in the Sin City.
In this day and age, everybody's recording. Everybody's got a phone out there. I'm sure a video will come out. I haven't seen any videos yet, Christian. But
maybe it was too fast. I don't know. It sounds like Bam literally just walked up and punched him, kind of Chris Rock style.
Animosity, man. I'm curious to see now, too, how these two will react when they face off each other. From best friends and teammates to now.
How sad.
Not so much.
It's tragic. It's like a Shakespearean tale.
Let's take a break. Speaking of Summer League, the Utah Jazz went undefeated in Salt Lake City in their Summer Leagues. We'll talk Las Vegas, we'll talk Salt Lake, and we'll talk Darren Peterson coming up next on the other side. It is the Saturday show. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Broadcasting live from the KSL Cars Studio. This is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This stuff is available everywhere.
Wherever you are, the KSL Sports Zone will be right there with you. It's the KSL Sports app.
I love it.
Where you can get the latest podcasts, up to the second breaking news, and analysis of the teams you can't live without right from your phone. And wherever in the world you may be, you can have DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben tag along with live streaming of your favorite shows. Download the KSL Sports app and never miss a thing. Presented by University of Utah Health. Health is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, guys, today I am streaming my evening commute. You're going to love it. And I'm going to teach you how I'm getting home without taking any damage, like zero. Check that out, chat. I got my helmet strapped on tight to protect my brain. I've got my bike, which is looking sick. Woo! And my front and back lights are shining. I've planned the route home that protects me most as a bike rider. Save stealth mode for video games. Outsmart the system, ride by the rules. It's a message from the Utah Department of Public Safety, because they care about you. Throw a dub for safety, chat.
Sometimes, firefighting sounds like this.
But most of the time, it sounds like this. And this. And even this. The first response to wildfire is prevention, not intervention. So douse your flames, keep your vehicles maintained, and let's fight wildfire together. FireSense is the first response.
This is Dylan Gunther of the Utah Mammoth, and I drive a BMW. Performance matters to me, on the ice and on the road. That confidence lets me focus on what matters most, performance. That's why I trust BMW Utah for everything, from service to tires. They've always got my back. Between scoring goals and scoring the perfect ride, it's a tough call, but scoring is what I do. And the win? Driving a BMW from BMW Utah. When I came to Utah, everyone talked about the greatest snow on earth. But during the 2002 Olympics, the world saw something else. This place also has the best ice on earth. Since moving here, I've done my best to own that ice and live up to that standard. It's about preparation, precision, and trusting what's beneath you every single day. That same mindset is why I chose BMW Utah, because great performance doesn't happen by accident. It's built, maintained, and earned. And I'm proud to work with a local dealer that represents Utah at that same elite level. Proud to be a Utahan, proud to support BMW Utah. Drive elevated.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just one tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
Established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Hey, this is Chris from JCW's. If anything rivals our burgers, it's our bacon. It makes the perfect combination with our guacamole, jalapeno, or our hickory barbecue burgers. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Welcome back into the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. Alex Napolis and Krishna Esparza taking you through this Saturday. And let's talk Utah Jazz. Let's talk Summer League basketball. And, of course, let's talk Darren Peterson. Darren Peterson and the Utah Jazz went undefeated here in the Salt Lake Summer League. Now they've moved on to Vegas. They had a massive matchup on Thursday night between the Wizards and, of course, AJ DeBonsa. Probably the most anticipated game of the entire Summer League. And you know, I know typically Summer League doesn't take the forefront, but because it was AJ DeBonsa and because it was Darren Peterson, a lot of eyes were on that matchup on Thursday night, Christian. The Jazz ended up losing, but a lot of really great stuff coming out from Darren Peterson still.
Was there?
Well,
this was a terrible game.
As far as you know, just the whole Summer League in total.
Okay.
In total, right?
He looked great in Salt Lake.
In Salt Lake, he looked fantastic. But Thursday night, I mean, the whole Jazz team Thursday night looked.
Both teams. It was.
Ugh. And then
I regret watching this game. I do. I regret spending 2 and whatever hours watching this game.
And then
I could have done so many other more productive
from AJ
things.
DeBonsa, man.
Yes.
Was horrendous.
It was atrocious.
Being memed already right through one game. This was his debut, right? Because this was the first time the Wizards take the court now with AJ DeBonsa.
Okay.
And already memes everywhere of AJ DeBonsa foul baiting.
We'll start with this, and then we'll get into the Jazz side in a sec.
Sure.
But I'm glad you bring up the foul baiting from AJ, because this is your first NBA appearance, and this is what you're going to do against clearly inferior competition, and this is how you feel you need to play. You are the number 1 freaking pick in a draft class that people are talking about as being generational.
Yeah.
And you are the best player among the top 4 prospects, and you still feel like you need to come out and foul bait in Summer League? We saw the highlight where he gets to the basket and dunks and posterizes. I don't know who it was he posted. I don't know his name. But we saw the highlight. Do that. Show us why you went number 1. Anybody can get out there and foul bait and throw their head back and draw fouls and shoot 7 of 8 from the free throw line with these new weird free throw rules. Anybody can do that. Show us why you're the number 1 pick. Show us what you can do with your 6'9" frame and your elite athleticism. Show us what makes you special. But no, he wants to go out there and be SGA 2.0.
Yeah.
Throwing his body around, throwing his head around, screaming because he needs the call. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And the worst part is this is what is turning people off of the NBA. And the only there's a lot of local fans that don't watch the NBA anymore because of foul baiting.
Yeah.
But they watched basketball because of AJ DeBonsa, couldn't wait to see what he does in the NBA, and then he turns into the thing that is ruining the sport.
After watching that from AJ, right, the foul baiting and when I'm scrolling online through Twitter on Thursday night and seeing the highlights of this game, it has nothing to do with highlights from the buckets. It has nothing to do from highlights from even the poster that you're talking about. It's all him trying to draw the foul. It's all him trying to draw all this and that. And I have to sit there and remind myself, it's Summer League. I don't want to put too much value onto this, and I hope that even as the NBA regular season starts, this isn't the AJ DeBonsa that you're going to see night in and
But
night
if
out.
he does it in the Summer League, why would he do it in the Summer League but not in the regular season? That's what I'm getting at.
I hope that's not the case.
Like, you are supposed to be the best player on the floor in
Right.
this game, and this is what you resort to. I don't know. It kind of broke my heart a little bit, Alex, if I'm being honest with you, because there was all this hype about how good of a prospect AJ DeBonsa is supposed to be, and we see the flashes. I get it. But, like, again, you are the number 1 pick in this draft, this very special draft, and you want to come in and just foul bait the entire game.
When's the next Wizards game in the Summer League?
Don't care.
I will probably watch to see if that continues. Because if it does continue into the second game, then I will be...
Tomorrow. 6 p.m., they're playing the Kings.
Oh, right before the Jazz.
Right after.
Right after the Jazz. As far as Darren Peterson goes, what was it, 8 turnovers and 9 fouls? First of all, I think the whole 10 fouls rule is kind of lame. You get 10 fouls in Summer League before you foul out, and Peterson essentially goes and almost fouls out with 9, and then he has the 8 turnovers as well. And again, not the Darren Peterson that you saw in Salt Lake in front of the Jazz fans and up at the Huntsman Center was very different from the one that you saw on Thursday night. And I wonder how much it plays into this whole AJ versus Darren Peterson conversation.
To be honest with you, it looked like something was on his mind. It looked like he was off. And I don't know if it was AJ DeBonsa. I don't know if he was stressed because he basically started the game off with a turnover and it was all downhill from there. Or if it's because the fouls kept racking up and they were ridiculous fouls. The charging foul, the offensive foul that he had towards the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that was terrible. When he's driving towards the rim and he kind of, I don't know, there was some contact. Maybe he hooked the defender's arm a little bit. But to call that an offensive foul, ridiculous. This is why, I don't know. It made me upset. I will say this. AJ DeBonsa was playing with much better teammates than Darren Peterson was. With respect to everybody that deserves respect on this Jazz Summer League roster, maybe Cody Williams and Blake Hinson are the only two other guys that are going to see meaningful NBA minutes, and we don't even know that, right? There's a real possibility that we barely see Williams or Hinson. There's a real possibility that Darren Peterson was not playing with a single NBA player Thursday night versus AJ DeBonsa, and he's playing with some of these other players that have, are expected to be core pieces of this team. So when you are playing with a significantly worse roster, it's really hard to look good, even if you are the focal piece.
And to give credit to the Washington side of things, I thought that they didn't allow Darren Peterson space to really do anything besides besides struggle. It was all,
they don't have to worry about anybody else.
Right. It was all, it was all collapse on Peterson. Don't give Peterson the chance to do anything on the court. And I think that ultimately led to why you saw a little bit of the struggles from Darren Peterson on Thursday. The Wizards keyed in on Darren Peterson, whereas there wasn't as much keying in on AJ DeBonsa from the Jazz's side of things.
Right. The Jazz's whole game plan was not stopping AJ. Versus it was pretty clear the Wizards' game plan was let's do everything we can to stop Darren Peterson. One thing that I will say that I really liked from Darren, he tied for the lead in minutes. Him and Cody Williams both played 30 minutes in this game. Again, led the Jazz, led both teams in minutes played. That's a good thing. With Darren Peterson's injury history and the concerns coming in, and I get that it's one summer league game in Las Vegas, but you know what? Vegas is 115 degrees right now. If you're going to cramp up, those are the conditions you expect to cramp up. So for Darren Peterson to come in and play 30 minutes in this game against a tough team where they are double teaming him the entire game after already playing 2 or 3 games last week, right? I'd say that's a good takeaway. That's a green flag.
That is absolutely
for Darren Peterson to come in and play 30 minutes in this game.
Absolutely. You bring up Cody Williams, and curious to get your thoughts on Cody through Summer League so far. This is a guy who's entering year 3. I thought he showed some good signs in Salt Lake, but then again, I think he struggled in Vegas, and I think you want more, and you anticipate more, and you expect more from a year 3 Cody Williams.
Yeah, a third-year top 10 pick should be one of the best players on the floor in Summer League.
Absolutely.
You look at last year, Bryce Sensabaugh balled out in Salt Lake Summer League, and he played so well that they didn't even send him to Vegas. And that's what they should be, you should expect from Cody Williams. And I get that, Sensabaugh is more of a day one contributor than Cody Williams is. He's still a project, still working on his body. He's very clearly added muscle to his frame. He's getting bigger. And I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. As far as the ball handling thing, they were very clearly switching off on who's the lead ball handler, Cody Williams or Darren Peterson, and they were kind of taking turns or getting runs here and there. I will say Cody Williams is a better ball handler than I maybe was going to give him credit for. He's a better ball handler than I thought he would be. I don't know if that's his future in the NBA. Ben Anderson said it best. I think when it first came out that they were going to have Cody Williams handle the ball, he said something like, a player going into his 3rd year and they're giving him a new role. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's, hey, we're kind of running out of room for you on this roster. Can we throw this at you and hope that you can pick it up?
That's what it kind of feels like.
But again, the Jazz have a need for a backup ball handler outside of Isaiah Collier, right? That is a very clear need. Is that Cody Williams' role in the NBA? I don't think so. I think if he is to hit his ceiling, it's as a 3-and-D guy, not as a, backup point guard. So I don't know. That's my concern. He didn't blow me away. He didn't make me say, man, this guy should never bring the ball up the floor again. I don't know. It's only one Summer League game. And again, the Wizards' whole focus was stopping Darren Peterson. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the Summer League, I guess, before we make any assumptions. I do want to see Cody Williams take some steps forward. I think he has the ability, in the next few games. We'll see what he does tomorrow against the Clippers. He should be looking like one of the best players on the floor, and he hasn't so far.
Tomorrow, Jazz and Clippers. Christian, you mentioned it. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. on Prime Video. We'll see if Darren Peterson can work out of that slump a little bit that we saw from Thursday night, and we'll see if Cody Williams can show a little bit more during the Summer League. One of the guys who showed a lot in Summer League so far, Caleb Wilson, man. He looks like a star. That performance with the Chicago Bulls. And I know again, right? We can't overreact, underreact to Summer League. At the end of the day, it is Summer League, but Caleb Wilson, man, got the best of Boozer in a comeback win for the Chicago Bulls. And Caleb Wilson, man, he's looking good.
Yeah. So the funny thing is about the Darren Peterson,
35 points.
The Darren Peterson game versus AJ DePonsa is there were so many Jazz fans saying that they were melting down, saying they made the wrong pick. They should have just went with Boozer. They should have traded up to AJ. AJ was clearly, whatever. But then you have Caleb Wilson, who was by far the consensus 4th pick.
Yeah.
And he comes out and has the best debut out of any of these rookies in the Summer League. His whole thing coming in was he was going to have the flashiest highlight tape with all the dunks. And what does he do last night? He's hitting step-back threes. And it's like, where did this come from? So, again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt because it's Summer League.
Yeah.
But I will say, if Caleb Wilson can be a deadly three-point shooter,
to that point, he made 7.
On top of what he does on the inside and on defense, he could have a chance of being the best of these rookies if that stays consistent.
Right. 7 3-point shots last night from Caleb Wilson, which was as much 3 points as he made his entire freshman season at North Carolina.
He really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
His biggest question mark, I think, coming into the draft was the offensive profile as a prospect. And now I think he goes and he kind of silences that a little bit last night with that performance that he did that he put up with the Chicago Bulls yesterday.
Well, for now, and again, once it comes to regular season,
right.
If he's bricking threes, everybody's going to say, yeah, that's why he went 4th and not 1st.
We'll see if he can continue to carry that into the regular season. Axel Lendenborg also had a good performance for the Golden State Warriors, and then Keaton Wagler, who struggled for the Clippers. And you'll have what's anticipated to be Keaton Wagler and the Jazz. Keaton Wagler going against Darren Peterson and the Jazz coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and as far as second-year players, disappointed that we didn't get to see Ace Bailey help out Darren Peterson on Thursday night. I think the game would have been dramatically different if Ace Bailey were on the floor because you can't double-team Darren Peterson the entire game if Ace Bailey's out there. I think the Jazz would have won if Ace Bailey were to have played. So we'll see if we get to see Ace with these back spasms that have held him out the last couple of games. But for Brooklyn, Yegor Demin has been playing really, really well. I've seen a lot of people excited about what he's bringing, former BYU player.
It's so crazy to me how, me personally, I forget about Demin because the conversation has been AJ DePonsa, right? And what he did for BYU last season that I forget that Demin was also here.
He's on the Nets. He's forgettable now.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you mean.
But he's looking at him to make a good jump in year 2.
And he has a very clear runway to do it. I know they drafted so many guards last year, and he was one of them, but he looked really good as a rookie. I mean, all those 3-point shots he made, and he break the record for consecutive games with a 3-point make or something similar to that.
Lines,
and then he had to sit out the last couple months with an injury, but he has shown a ton of promise as a rookie and then now as a second-year player in his summer league. So definitely going to continue to keep tabs on Yegor Demin and what he does for the Nets.
The Jazz will also be back in action Monday night against the Chicago Bulls. So we'll have, again, what we anticipate is going to be Darren Peterson taking on Caleb Wilson before they wrap up Summer League on Wednesday night against the San Antonio Spurs at 7:30 on Prime Video. We'll We'll take a break. Coming up next, we'll head into 5 minutes of. There's still plenty to talk about. Not a lot of time left in the show to talk about it. And, of course, we're going to start with Victor Wembanyama and the extension that was announced last night.
He's a saint.
That's coming up next on the other side. 5 minutes of. It is the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Here we go again.
Brendan Haywood joins us, 14-year NBA veteran. You see him on NBA TV. He's college basketball TV analyst as well.
So the Jazz did take Peterson, and there was that cramping issues, knowing the grind that is involved in the NBA and how difficult it is. What's your level of concern regarding the fact of the issues that he had in college?
I just think the sky's the limit for this kid. When I look at Darren Peterson averaging over 20 points per game with the cramping issues, playing against older players in college basketball, and then doing it with a roster that's probably not that good, no one on that Kansas team was getting drafted. That tells you how good he is. This kid worked on his game so much, everybody thinks he's a natural shooter. Shooting was actually the part of his game that people were worried about the most coming into college. Utah has a great one. He is going to transcend that franchise.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey Utah, Jimmer Fredette here. You remember Jimmer Mania? When the building got loud, the tempo sped up, and you could feel something special was about to happen? That's the same kind of energy you get behind the wheel at BMW of Pleasant Grove. Quick acceleration, sharp handling, total control. Whether you're hitting I-15 for work, making the school run, or heading out for the weekend. Because great driving is like great basketball. Quick decisions, smooth moves, and confidence when it matters. And if you know my game, you know that I love the three-pointer. Catch it, rise up, let it fly. In a BMW, it's the same feeling. Smooth, precise, and dialed in. Like you're pulling from deep, and you know it's money the second it leaves your hand. The crew at BMW of Pleasant Grove makes the whole process easy too. No pressure, no runaround. Just a premium experience from shopping to financing to service that has your back for miles. So if you're ready to upgrade your drive and bring that game day energy to every day, visit BMW of Pleasant Grove or online at bmwofpg.com. BMW of Pleasant Grove. Drive elevated.
Hey, Mammoth fans. The 2026-27 season tickets are on sale now. Be there for every goal, every hit, and every moment of the next season. Season ticket members get the best seats, the best value, and exclusive perks all season long. Call or text 801-325-PUCK. That's 801-325-PUCK to reserve your seats today. Don't miss a moment next season. Tusks up.
At University of Utah Health, we're mapping DNA to find the cause and the cure. Because 1 in a million is really just one. One person facing one incredibly difficult diagnosis. Looking for one thing. Hope. Learn more at uofuhealth.org.
Hey, Doug, what is it that you do? 'Cause everybody's buying a car from you. Hey, Doug.
Doug Smith Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has been serving Utah County at 2 locations for years. Explore our wide selection of beautiful new vehicles in Spanish or American Fork.
Hey, Doug.
The energy, the roar, moments you'll always remember. Next season, Jaren Jackson Jr. is hunting blocks. Laurie Markkinen is getting buckets. And Ace is just getting started. Don't just watch Jazz basketball. Experience every moment. 2026-27 season tickets are on sale now. Full and half-season packages available. Plus exclusive benefits like arena discounts and player events. Are you in? Join the climb today. UtahJazz.com or call 801-355-DUNK.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Drop in for one of our delicious gourmet burgers made with 100% choice Grand Chuck. We're in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
It's that time again.
Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Only 5 minutes.
Everybody got that?
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Get on with it.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yes, get on with it.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Napolis and Christian Esparza here with you as we dive into 5 minutes of still plenty to talk about, not a lot of time left. And we'll start with Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs as they've agreed to a new 5-year, $252 million contract extension. And Wembanyama has reportedly left some money on the table in doing so. The new deal is reportedly a rookie scale contract extension that has a 5th-year option. Some of the iterations of the deal included a 30% supermax, bringing it that would have brought it to $303 million over its lifespan, but instead Wemby opted for the 25% maximum to give the Spurs extra financial flexibility, taking a page out of the Jalen Brunson book, so that the Spurs can compete with the rest of the
This is where I'd put a trophy if I had one.
So it's funny because everybody's comparing it to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson passed up on over $100 million.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, $50 million is nothing to scoff at, right? I would gladly take that $50 million that Wemby is passing up on over the lifetime of this deal. But I hate
that you're comparing it to Brunson.
Well, I hate the look of, like, the only reason you do this is for the look of it, right?
Right.
Nobody cares if Jalen Brunson passes up on money until they win the title. Then it says, oh, they were able to do this because Jalen Brunson passed up on $100 million. With Victor Wembanyama, there's all this speculation before the deal is announced. There's some rumors that, oh, he's gonna take a pay cut just like Brunson did. You know, the star of the team that just won the title. He's gonna do the same thing because that helped the Knicks win. And then the contract comes out. Hey guys, I'm taking a pay cut. Instead of a supermax, I'm taking the max. I'm gonna save this team $8 million. $8 million. Per season.
And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's really not that much. As far as putting together a roster, as far as because I mean, the things that we've talked about time and time again here, as far as the teams who've made it far into the playoffs, was the depth, having the pieces around having the players around the star player like a Victor Wembanyama. To get you to that point where you can win an NBA championship, and in the grand scheme of things, leaving yourself the flexibility of about $8 million per season isn't all that much as far as the roster building goes.
I'm looking up right now players in the NBA making $8 million a season. Harrison Barnes.
Okay.
On the Spurs.
All right.
So. Okay, is Harrison Barnes the difference between you winning a title because your star player is taking a pay cut?
Probably not.
No. Again, it's just another PR move in a long line of Victor Wembanyama PR moves.
Yes.
Because he needs it to save his face after he comes out in the playoffs and turns the entire NBA against him, because we all realized that he's not this dude that he pretends to be.
Yeah.
He's not this, nice guy, training with the monks, level-headed. No, he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
I mean, he elbowed Naz Reid in the throat. He tried to kill him. And then he threw a fit in the finals every single game. He was constantly whining and complaining because things weren't going his way. And I get that it's frustrating to lose basketball games, especially in the NBA finals, but dude, grow up.
The thing that I found really interesting about this whole thing, and it stemmed from a tweet that I think you retweeted, Christian, about from one of the NBA reporters coming out and saying that he's going to be signing less than the Supermax to give San Antonio the greater financial flexibility, and then obviously everybody runs with that and starts painting him as, you know, the PR win, right? The absolute hero move of, oh, this guy's taken less than probably what he would have wanted, or probably what he would have garnished as with the Supermax. So then that way that they can build around him, and he comes out as the hero. But really, it's just it's the way that this whole thing has now been spun for Victor Wembanyama. And now, obviously, the comparisons to Jalen Brunson, who just came off winning that NBA championship.
And that's why I get so annoyed, is because he did so much damage to his reputation during the NBA playoffs. What does he have to do? He has to save face. So he wants to come out and look like the hero, like you're saying, by taking this pay cut, passing up on $50 million over the span of 5 years, because he takes not the Supermax contract, he takes the max contract, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you're going to take a pay cut to help your team win, then be serious about it. Do what Tom Brady did. Okay, I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know for a fact Tom Brady was not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL during his prime, and I don't believe he was even close. Is Victor Wembanyama going to be one of the highest paid centers over the life of this contract?
Absolutely.
Yes, he's going to be very close. Going to be about, I think it starts at like $50 million a year. That's Jokic money. Okay. So look, again, if you're going to take a pay cut, be serious about it.
To stay in the conversation here with the NBA, I cannot wait for this LeBron drama to be over. As far as where LeBron James will be playing basketball this next season, it feels like at this point it's dragging out for the drama, and ultimately I think he's just gonna make the decision to be with a championship contending team, and then people will move on. But it's become the storyline that's captivating the NBA right now, as far as where LeBron James will be playing basketball next.
Again, it's like the only reason people care about this is because people tell you to care about it.
Right.
And I get that it's LeBron, and I get that wherever he goes next is going to be the last place. Unless there's a chance that he goes somewhere like Miami, right? And then he signs a one-day contract with the Cavs to retire a Cav. I am in the camp. I've been in the camp for years now that I still think he's going back to Cleveland. He's going to finish his career there because that is the most LeBron James look at me storybook ending. But I get it. I do think it's funny that the Cavaliers have resorted to making general managers humiliate themselves. It's almost like a humiliation ritual. The rumor there is
that's where I was going with this, with the voice memo.
Rich Paul is having NBA general managers send voicemails basically recruiting why their team is a good fit for LeBron James.
Right.
Do you realize how hard you have to work, how long you have to work to become a general manager in the NBA? And the peak of that for most of these guys is going to be begging LeBron James to come play for them. That is humiliating.
Yes.
Humiliating.
Again, I don't know why we're going to the extent of you have to send your best pitch, your voice memos to figure out where LeBron James is going to go. At this point, just let him make the decision, right? Don't humiliate yourself and essentially go out and beg LeBron James to be a part of your team, because LeBron James is going to go where LeBron James is going to go. And I know Rich Paul has come out and has said that, LeBron James isn't ring chasing and that he's working hard this is the direct quote from Rich Paul. He's not chasing a ring, but when you've worked this hard to position yourself the way that you have and you can actually decide what you want to do, who wouldn't take advantage of that? And so again, LeBron James is going to go where LeBron James is going to go. You don't have to go out and put yourself in this spot where you have to essentially go out and send voice memos to Rich Paul begging this guy to come be a part of your team.
That's a great way to put it, and I love that you worded it that way. LeBron James is going to go where he's going to go.
Yeah.
I am willing to bet that he has had his next destination picked out.
Oh,
for
1,000%.
Not just weeks or months.
1,000%.
As soon as the Lakers traded for Luka Doncic, he started thinking about where he was going to go. He knows where he is going.
Exactly.
This is just a game for LeBron. It's a game for Rich Paul. It's a game for everybody involved to, like I said, sit there and laugh at all these GMs that are dumb enough to try and send a stupid voicemail to recruit LeBron James. No, he's had his mind made up for a very long time. Nothing any general manager can do will sway that opinion. It's literally just a matter of how outrageous can we go? What stupid thing can we make these GMs do just to bow at the heels of the great LeBron James?
And that's where we're at now. And as soon as I saw the voice memo report come out, that's it. That's exactly what this felt like.
Yes.
It's a
Bill Belichick level humiliation ritual.
And it puts LeBron James at the forefront again of the headlines, right? Which is exactly where LeBron James wants to be.
Yeah.
As in, we're still mulling over where we're going to end up going. We're still trying to figure out where I want to play basketball next. But the reality is the destination has been in his mind already, and it's all just a way for LeBron James to make sure that he's still in the forefront of everybody's minds, despite him not being he's the face of the league as he once was.
This is the last time that people are going to care about LeBron, and he realizes that. So
absolutely,
he's taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. As far as other news in the NBA goes, Donovan Mitchell signing a Supermax deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jake Scott got some heat on the station from PK about this, and now that I finally have the mic in front of me, I can finally say I stand with Jake Scott. I'm right there with him, man.
I'm of the belief that at any given time in the NBA, especially right now, there's maybe 2 or 3 players that are worth a Supermax. And that's a maybe. Like, that's opening the door to the conversation. And whether or not you end up giving it to them is a whole, debate in itself. Donovan Mitchell is not one of those players. He's going to be maxing out at $75 million a year on this next contract. And Jake's, you bring up this big week-long argument that Jake has been in with PK. It started at media days. They're supposed to be talking football, and they get in an argument over Donovan Mitchell's contract. The whole crux of Jake's argument is when you pay that much money to one singular player, especially one singular player who is not worth it and as flawed as Donovan Mitchell is, that significantly hamstrings your team and hurts your chances to win an NBA title, which should be the ultimate goal of an NBA franchise. PK's whole thing was, well, the Cavs know that Donovan Mitchell's a good player. He's the best player on their team. And if they lose him, that's a bad look. So you might as well pay him. So it's more of a, I guess, moral argument of what should teams be doing, pleasing their fans or trying to win championships. And that's kind of the approach the Jazz took.
Yeah, trying to win championships.
Could the Jazz have held on to Rudy and Donovan
sure.
until they both forced their way out?
Sure, but everybody here in Salt Lake City saw the ceiling of that team.
Right. So is it fun to have a second-round ceiling for 10 years, or is it fun to go through a painful rebuild, get your championship-caliber players, and then raise the trophy at the end?
And as far as the Cleveland Cavaliers go, I feel like we've already seen kind of the ceiling of that Cleveland Cavaliers team.
1,000%.
I don't think it would have hurt in any sense for the Cleveland Cavaliers to essentially hit the reset button in a similar way that the Jazz did. Would it have absolutely sucked for their fans? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the ultimate goal is to win an NBA championship, and I feel like you've already seen the heights of this Cleveland Cavaliers team with that iteration with Donovan Mitchell leading it.
Real quick, these are the players, according to Google AI, that are on Supermax contracts. I'm going to rapid fire, and you're going to tell me worth it or not worth it, okay?
Okay.
Steph Curry, at this age, Steph Curry.
Oh, no.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Jason Tatum, coming off an Achilles tear.
Yes.
Still worth it.
Still worth it.
Interesting. Jaylen Brown, locker room cancer.
No.
Giannis, at this age, injury concerns.
No.
Nikola Jokic.
Ooh, yes. Yes. I'm going to say yes for Jokic.
Joel Embiid.
No, definitely not.
Devin Booker.
No.
Shea.
Yes.
Okay. Those are the current Supermax contracts. Technically, I don't think Donovan is technically a Supermax. I think it's right up against it. But still, he's making this type of money. Of those names I just listed, Steph, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, and Shea, given current injuries, current age, in my opinion, the only players worth it are Jokic and Shea.
Yeah.
Pre-Achilles tear, I'd say Jason Tatum. 5 years ago, I'd say Steph, totally worth it. Right now, I'd say Steph is probably borderline. He's still a very good player. But to my point, I named 2 players that are no doubt I would give the Supermax off of this list. Everybody else, some of those names you laughed at.
Joel Embiid. There's some very clear names on there that probably shouldn't be on that list.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell, I just don't think that he's in the same category as a Nikola Jokic or a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
No, and he's not.
But now the Cleveland Cavaliers have hampered themselves to a Donovan Mitchell who is again not in the same echelon as somebody who has won the ring, like a Nikola Jokic and like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
So Donovan signed a 4-year, $273 million contract. Technically not a Supermax because a Supermax would have been a 5-year, $350 million deal. But the AAV is pretty dang close to a Supermax. It's right underneath it. So yeah, he's not. You look at the accolades that some of these other players have won. Steph Curry has multiple titles.
Absolutely.
Tatum has a title and has been there multiple times. Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP.
Yes.
That's anyways. Giannis has a title, MVP, 2 MVPs. Jokic, 3-time MVP. Embiid at least has an MVP. Devin Booker hasn't won anything. SGA, a title, and 2 MVPs.
Right.
Donovan Mitchell hasn't even sniffed any of these accolades.
I don't think he's ever been in MVP conversations.
No.
That I can remember. I don't think he's. This is for the first time they've gone to the conference championship.
This was his first time out of the second round.
Right.
This year.
And it took him how many years?
9.
There you go. So again, I side with the side of you have to, if you're going to Supermax somebody, you have to give it to the right player. And I just don't think Donovan Mitchell is that right player.
And again, there are like 2 or 3 right players in the entire NBA.
All right, let's wrap things up on the other side. Here on the Saturday show, it is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Utah Jazz select Darren Peterson.
The Utah Jazz have found their future face of the franchise as Darren Peterson is on his way to Salt Lake City.
The BYU at Kansas game, he had 18 points in the first half. He was 6 of 8, had 3 steals. There was no question who the best player on the floor was.
Winning basketball is back in Utah, and the KSL Sports Zone will be with the new look Jazz every step of the way. Your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Technology never stands still. And neither does Lessel's and IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let Les be here for you.
Summer savings are happening now at Paris RV, starting with the Forest River Rockwood Hardside High Wall Series A101 RV for only $13,995 or $159 a month, $499 dock fee and 0 down. Or the Forest River XLR Boost 2017B Toy Hauler for $39,995 or $399 a month, $699 dock fee and 0 down. Or load up into the Gulfstream Conquest Class C 6237 LE for $74,999 or $599 a month, $899 dock fee and 10% down.
Come see me at Paris RV.
Paris RV is your locally owned, family-run RV dealership. We strive hard to find the very best RVs for the price. With 4 locations, over 1,000 RVs in stock, 42 service bays, and 4 super parts stores, we're sure to help take your family on the best RV vacation. Check out our perfect family bunkhouse trailer, the 26BH, that sleeps 9 for $19,995 or $227 a month, 0 down. Life is short, Enjoy it. North Murray, South Murray, Payson, and Pocatello. ParisRV.com.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of acid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's hot out. Good thing the steaks are hotter. Celebrate America 250 at Ruth's Chris. Sizzling perfection, cool comfort. 2 locations, downtown Salt Lake or Park City. Ruth's Chris, done your way.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win a family 4-pack of tickets to see Zach Bryan at Rice-Eccles Stadium on August 7th. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, Christian. The U.S. men's national team eliminated by Belgium from the World Cup.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to get into it. I wish we had more. Could have brought it up in technical files, but Christian Pulisic has turned himself into
public enemy number 1.
It's sad because that's an American through and through, but he's turned the whole country against him.
By one sentence, quite literally one sentence where he was just said, "Yeah, I can rest now."
Crazy.
Which is the last thing you want to hear from the guy who's supposed to be the leader of this team. The U.S. men's national team bows out of the World Cup. They lose to Belgium 4-1 in a incredibly disappointing performance.
Who are you pulling for now?
So Spain won last night.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Belgium. They took down Belgium after Belgium beat the U.S. And I've picked Spain to win. They were the team that I picked to win the World Cup. So they're still fighting. They're still pushing. But now they got a matchup against France. And that'll be fun.
Today, fun one, Norway, England. Pulling for Norway.
Let's go, Holland.
Let's go, Holland.
Today's schedule looks like this. The Salt Lake Bees at the Sacramento River Cats, 7:20 pregame. You can catch first pitch at 7:35. And then tomorrow you can also catch the Bees versus the River Cats, 1:50 pregame, 2:05 first pitch. That's going to do it for us here on the Saturday show. From Alex Napolis, from Christian Esparza, big shout out to Parker behind the glass pushing the buttons. This has been another edition of the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This stuff is available everywhere. Wherever you are, the KSL Sports Zone will be right there with you. It's the KSL Sports app.
I love it.
Where you can get the latest podcasts, up to the second breaking news, and analysis of the teams you can't live without.